I honestly don't think anyone is surprised about Subaru's latest deal with Tesla. The only question here is, and the only genuine surprise, in my opinion, is why didn't this happen sooner? Subaru are completely dependent upon you guys in the United States. The vast majority of the cars that Subaru sell worldwide are in the US. If Subaru sales in the US dried up tomorrow, they wouldn't exist. They simply couldn't pay their debts. It would be impossible. So, as a result, Subaru have finally realized it needs Tesla. It needs Tesla's supercharging network, and it needs to accelerate its EV plans, which it plans on doing. But it is a long way behind in the United States. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to all the new subscribers. If you're in Australia, guys, you probably think of Subaru as being this big international global company. It's absolutely not. In fact, it doesn't really sell that many vehicles, and it does have quite a bit of debt. And the interesting thing about Subaru is that not many people realize the United States accounts for 70% of Subaru's sales. So 7 out of every 10 Subarus sold worldwide are sold in the United States. I mentioned this on a few occasions, and I believe this puts Subaru in a pretty precarious position, being so dependent on one country where they haven't invested in EVs. Now, they say that will change. They're planning on having 50% of their cars as EVs only by 2030. The question is not really whether or not that's a good strategy, which, I mean, personally, I don't think it is. I think they need to go higher than that. But the real question here is, why is it taking them so long to realize this? And why are they one of the last automakers to sign this deal with Tesla? So what deal am I talking about? Well, I'm sure you've heard about it by now. Subaru have finally gotten on board the Tesla NACS EV charging train, along with a bunch of other automakers who, signed this agreement earlier. Japanese automaker Subaru made the announcement everyone's apparently been waiting for, some news outlets have said. Now, I don't think anyone's really been too concerned about what Subaru does in regards to EVs because it doesn't really make any, and it doesn't yet manufacture EVs in the United States, though it does plan on doing so. Subaru reached an agreement with Tesla Wednesday to use its supercharger network. The company will use Tesla NACS ports on certain EVs. So I'd be a bit surprised if you walked into a Subaru dealership and you said, just give me the EV that doesn't have a Tesla NACS port on it, please. That would make no sense. So I don't really understand why Subaru is saying certain EVs, meaning some of its EVs won't have the Tesla NACS charger port in 2025. Why would you make that decision? I've really thought about this, and I cannot see any logical reason to build NACS charging ports on some EVs and not put it on other ones. If you know what Subaru's reasoning there could be, please enlighten me in the comments below. Subaru EV drivers with NACS-enabled vehicles will gain access to around 18,000 Tesla superchargers by the time their vehicles are equipped with NACS. This news comes right after Ford, General Motors, Volvo, Rivian, Nissan, Mercedes, Hyundai, Kia, BMW, I'm sure there's some I've missed, have also signed this agreement previously. Toyota was one of its most recent acquisitions, or Tesla's most recent acquisitions. And when I say acquisitions, guys, I really do think this will help Tesla more than anyone else. Tesla will commit to building more chargers across North America. Now they have commitments from all these companies, and it will mean that they'll be like the new Chevron Mobil, or the new, the biggest, basically, gasoline station in the US. Instead of gasoline, they'll be selling electricity, which they get much cheaper rates. I've spoken about why that is. It's for numerous reasons in a number of previous videos, so I won't go into that again. Now, Subaru has accelerated its EV plans, and the automaker has only one EV for sale in the US right now. Of course, that's the Subaru Solterra, or the Toyota BZ4X. It's identical, just has a different badge on it, maybe some different cladding on the body, but other than it's an identical vehicle. And to be honest, it's not a particularly compelling car for the price. Even the Mustang Mach-E is better value. There is a few different vehicles. There's the Volkswagen ID4, there's a Hyundai Ioniq 5, there's the Tesla Model Y. All of those vehicles are better than the Subaru Solterra, so they're not selling very many of them. After launching the Solterra last year, Subaru has only sold 5,700 in the US, So basically it's been on sale for a year and they've sold 5,700, very small number. It accounts for only 1% of sales in the US. However, Subaru appointed a new CEO earlier this year. And the whole point of this was to get this CEO to have a bit more of an open mind and to basically embrace the future of cars, which is electrification. So at the time, Subaru revealed its new electric car strategy, which was to increase EV production in order to hit the 50% number that Joe Biden wants automakers to hit in 2030. Now, keep in mind, there will be financial penalties for Toyota and Subaru and all these other companies who plan on still selling gasoline-powered vehicles post-2030. The EPA rules now require companies to pay basically for credit offsets. They'll probably have to pay Tesla or other automakers who are making a lot of EVs and have their own carbon credits to sell. That's how Tesla makes a lot of its profits. In the United States, Subaru hopes to sell 400,000 EVs per year in 2028. Now, we do know how that's gone for Toyota. Toyota are committed to selling 200,000 EVs this year. It's revised its forecast down by 40%. So I'm not sure if Subaru will really hit that number because the 2028 is coming fast, but it's possible. Let's hope that they do. So what was Subaru's previous plan? Well, it previously said it had committed to 50-50, but 50% of those cars were not hybrids, right? They were a combination of hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and just straight plain old hybrids, which could have a tiny battery pack in them. But it's changed that. It's now said 50% completely electric. Subaru plans to begin its electric vehicle production in the United States in 2025. And currently, its EV models are built by Toyota on the eTNGA platform. Like I said, it's the BZ4X. And that platform is made in Japan. So it doesn't these cars don't qualify for EV incentives in the United States. Now, of course, the new version is likely to qualify as long as the batteries or most of the parts come from North America. 2025, the rule changes will be more strict, but it's most likely the Solterra will, and any other EVs built in North America, will qualify for the $7,500 tax credit. That's one of the key reasons the Solterra hasn't been selling well. It doesn't qualify. Now, incredibly, in 2025, Subaru still will not have any dedicated electric vehicle production lines worldwide. In 2025, it won't have a single dedicated electric vehicle production line until 2027. So, nearly 4 years away from today. But anyway, whatever the case may be, at least they have changed their numbers for the positive. Subaru will launch 3 new electric SUVs by the end of 2026. But what I find strange is they're saying they're not going to have a dedicated EV production line until 2027 or even 2028. So if they're launching 3 new electric SUVs to be built in the US, none of those are going to be built on their own EV production lines. So I don't know how that's going to be an efficient way of manufacturing the vehicles, but hey, we'll see. By the end of 2028, Subaru says it will have 8 electric vehicles in its lineup. We don't know what those are. Subaru have released lots of different concepts like Toyota have, but apparently one of them will be a sports car. So we'll wait and see if that happens. In my opinion, though, either way, this is a win-win for consumers by Subaru actually joining the Tesla NACS charging network. I really do believe Tesla will invest more and more money as a result of more automakers coming on board into building more charging stations. Plus, for those people who don't really do their research, don't realize that, well, in the past haven't realized that the the Subaru Solterra doesn't have a NACS charging port, so they can't use Tesla's chargers. They will be able to do it in the future, and they will be able to also get a magic dock connected to basically use Tesla's chargers that way as well. So what are your thoughts on Subaru, guys? Do you think they'll be able to maintain their sales in the United States? Do you think that they're going to be able to continue in this situation where 70% of their cars they're selling worldwide are the US, without this possibly contracting as a result of companies like Tesla potentially making more EVs over the next few years? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching.